Now, I'm not always the most objective guy. I'm more of a subjective, I'm gonna throw a bunch of sex jokes your way and I'm gonna go a little crazy. That's just who I am. And I know a lot of you are gonna be in the comments very angry just because I took your Big Daddy PlayStation and I made a little bit of a joke in the thumbnail and in the title. Not even a joke, I'm just kind of throwing a little shade toward this big company's direction. And you're too busy sucking the laces off of their bootstraps to take some critical looks at what's going on in the industry. And I think this is something that we really need to talk to, because this is a second instance of this same situation that I've ran into on the PS5. The first situation I ran into like this was the Warriors. I remember I got the Warriors on PlayStation 4, it played fine, and then I played it on PS5, and it was basically the same as using a cheese grater on the bottom of my scrotum. Filled with graphical issues like I've never seen before, the most graphical tearing every 2 seconds that my eyes just couldn't handle. They started to melt from the back of my head and pour out of the front of my skull. Now, I know that you can tough through it. I know it's not that big of a deal, especially with a game like the Warriors, which is iconic and amazing. But I'm here to tell you, when I fired up Primal, dear God, all the same problems. Now, PlayStation 5 definitely warned you, says this game was updated for PS4, not PS5, so you might experience some issues. And when it means some issues, it means the game is barely goddamn functional. It's basically your father looking down at you from heaven saying, "You're going to hell, buddy, for all those dudes you sucked off under the underpass." But before I get into this big discussion of video game preservation and the place that we're in the video game industry in 2020, whatever the fuck we're in right now, I do kind of want to highlight some things about this game and kind of give you a little breakdown on my opinion of what the game is and if I like it and all that type of jazz. I feel like we might want to be jumping in this in case you want to play it. You've never heard of Primal, you're like, dude, this kind of looks cool. It looks like a dark fantasy Blood Rain, and that's why I downloaded the game. I went to PlayStation Plus Premium Sandwich bullshit, whatever their Game Pass equivalent is, saw the classic collections. This game looked kind of hype, and I was like, I'm gonna download it. It's got a sexy female protagonist. I'm gonna watch her ass jiggle as I kill some shit, and I jumped into this game to be met with like 15 to 20 minutes of just exposition dump at the beginning of the game. It is so insufferably boring. I'm not even like messing with you. Now, I don't mind a long opening cutscene, something to like set you in, maybe some big stakes are happening, but there's so much just two people fucking talking. Basically, the way it breaks down is your boyfriend, who's just this weird fucking punk rocker, he's getting chased by fucking Elmer Fudd on steroids. Funniest part of this is the fact that both the rocker and the fucking Elmer Fudd on steroids guy look like the type of uncle that would molest you. Anyway, you kind of are put in the hospital. You're then met with a gargoyle who takes you to like a shadow realm where you gotta go save your boyfriend. And this could have been summed up in like 3 minutes, but instead they took fucking like 20 minutes to do this shit. It is not necessary for 20 minutes. These were fucking developers self-flatulating to the point that they're like, ew, we really gotta explain every single detail. Sometimes it's better just to show more and say fucking less, and that is something this game doesn't understand. Now, just to highlight how annoying this was, this entire video is just the entire opening cutscene. I didn't put any of the gameplay in that I got to, and like, I played it like for 3 or 4 hours, and though there is some combat you do get to, I don't think the combat mechanics really warrant a real, like, heavy breakdown, because it's the most simple bullshit I've ever played, and I played a lot of games from this era. I mean, if you want a game with great third-person combat and is really fun for this era, go play the Blood Rain games. They're incredible. Much better than this slop. But if you want to actually talk about what you do in, like, the first 4 hours of the game, 90% of it is walking around, watching a cutscene, doing a slight puzzle, walking around, watching another cutscene. Oh, did the gargoyle not tell you about how his balls itch too much? Well, fuck it. We gotta have a cutscene for that. We gotta really see how fucking much that scrotum award he has really needs to be scratched to oblivion. If I would have done regular B-roll, I really felt like it wouldn't have like hammered home the point of how annoyingly long this opening segment was. I kind of complained about in Half-Life how long the train segment was. Now that was mostly me memeing to kind of get a lot of the Half-Life nerds to get a little bit mad at me. I thought it was a little bit funny. I like pulling a little joke like that. This is fucking insufferable. This is just bad. This just fucking awful. And it's one of those things that I felt like this game is one of those niche titles that a lot of people probably hold close and near and dear to their clit, but it doesn't slap the clit in the type of way where every time you turn the game on, just the opening sound just makes you have that deep orgasm where you're like, As I mentioned previously, you do have a gargoyle that follows you around who exposition dumps constantly. He talks more than Mimir in the God of War games. He just won't shut the fuck up. And he's also kind of like your companion. It works kind of like Ratchet and Clank. Some parts of the game you're going to be playing as the bitch, and the other parts of the game you're going to be playing as her little rock pet. And you have to play as the rock pet, and you have to play as her. There's some times where it literally forces you to go across an area to solve a puzzle as the girl, and then solve a slightly different puzzle as the golem to go through the same fucking area. It's weird and dumb, and to me, the whole time I'm playing this, I'm thinking, wow, I could be playing Jak and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank, games that are actually fucking fun instead of this slop. They do the exact same mechanic that's in this game so much better, in such a more interesting way, where the characters actually feel fully fleshed out and necessary to play as. When you're playing this thing, it doesn't feel necessary to go to the golem, it just feels like a hindrance on what the game could be. The game should have focused on being a cool hack and slash dark fantasy game, but instead it was like, we're gonna try to be a little bit of everything and be fuck all at nothing. Now, I didn't get very far into this experience, so the game might have a turnaround where the combat magically gets better, the cutscenes slim down to where they actually are meaningful and impactful and hit a little harder. The game could take a massive turn, so I'm not gonna say that the game's dog shit. From what I played, I didn't like it. I said it wasn't for me, wasn't gonna finish it, but there might be people out there who say, yeah, this game really does turn around after about 5 hours, you gotta give it more of a chance or whatever. I'm sure, well, we can live on that line. I'm not gonna completely condemn this game. That's the game being dog shit isn't really what this video is about anyway. It's more about the fact that I think we need to hold these companies like PlayStation up to a higher standard. I'm so fucking sick of PlayStation putting these PS2 games on their fucking little Game Pass thing or on their store and say, look, we care about video game preservation. Look at that, we're doing backwards compatibility, just like Xbox, just like Steam. We have the old games too, but then not actually caring enough to make sure that the games run properly. You think that if you had billions of dollars to run your little fucking game company, you would take about 15 to 20 minutes a day to have these some of your fucking endless employees look through and make sure this shit runs okay. I mean, if a fucking couple of gooners who live in their parents' basements at 35 jerk off into their own mouth every night can figure out how to build emulators so that they can play PS2 games at a better quality than on the newest PlayStation, there's a fucking problem with that. I mean, am I out of my mind here? Am I out of my fucking element? And this goes for Xbox too. You know how ridiculous it is that you can't play every single original Xbox game on the newest Xbox? It's unnecessarily retarded. Why the hell are we living in a world where they don't come with built-in emulators inside of your little gaming box? Come on, dude. What's the deal with that? I mean, even Blu-ray players can play DVDs. And yes, I know there's a massive difference between movies and video games. I know that there's a lot more that goes into a video game because it's an interactive component, and the interactive elements are kind of the highlighting the most important part of a game, and that doesn't transfer over as well into a new system, and there's a lot that goes into emulating. I get it. I'm just making some quick jabby points that I want to talk about how PlayStation is an evil soul-sucking fucking company, and it really annoys the shit out of me when I look at the fact that even when I look at when PlayStation always announces a remaster, it's only the shit from the PS4. What, you don't care about Jak and Jak 2? You don't care about the old Ratchet and Clanks? Oh, if it was made on the PlayStation 3, we can't bring that to modern system because it's too hard. It's too fucking hard. The PlayStation had too many weird mechanical fucking jizz nuggets inside of it, and it makes all games too hard to bring to the modern era. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. You remaster The Last of Us 872 times, but you can't remaster the Killzone games? You can't, find a third party like Night Dive to bring your old games to modern systems? Fuck, you can't even play the Resistance games natively on the PlayStation 5. You have to stream them, and the streaming technology technology isn't even from PlayStation. They have to fucking pay Microsoft to be able to do it. I mean, what the fuck are you doing over there, guys? Just remaster some of the games that actually need remastering. I'm sorry, the game that came out 5 years ago that still has decent graphics does not need a remaster just to make it like slightly better resolution. Why don't we put the work in to get some of these games that are hard to obtain, hard to play? Why don't you make them playable on your modern hardware? And it's just kind of, when I look at this with all its graphical tearing and all of its issues, it just kind of goes back to this blatant problem that the video game industry has with video game preservation. You'll hear people like Phil Spencer like get up on stage and talk about how important video game preservation is and how we need to fight and keep fighting for the fact that it needs to be prevalent in the modern era, and then Xbox shuts down its backwards compatibility department. Dude, stand by your fucking business, Phil Spencer. If you're gonna say shit, say it with your chest, you little ass African-American gentleman. And if I was the CEO of a massive company like this, and if I had all these games in my backlog, and I was looking at a year like PlayStation where I'm having to struggle just to find other studios to publish so that I have some games being exclusive to my platform, I would start to think, you know, we have this endless back catalog that goes all the way back to the 90s. Why am I not putting out like big game collections? Why don't I have a Resistance collection, a Killzone collection? Why don't I have a Twisted Metal collection that I put out, that I hype up, that I get people excited for? I mean, Twisted Metal has like a TV show. Why aren't we releasing the old Twisted Metal games? This is something that is constantly on my mind. Why are we remastering these entirely beautiful old gems that a lot of people hold close to their heart and then drop them out for like $30, have people buy the shit out of them? You're wasting money. You could be printing money right now. This is the most simple thing to do in the industry. And if you're like, oh, it's not that simple, King Jeffy Coates, it's really not that simple, shut the fuck up, dude, because if Gooners on the PC can do it and they're not even getting paid for the shit, you don't think that a company could do it and make fucking money? Get the shit out of here, my dog. Get out of here, bro. This is such a huge problem. I mean, I look at like Nintendo. For the entirety of the existence of the Switch, I begged them to release Wind Waker, and they couldn't do it. And now they're releasing Wind Waker, but it's only for the Switch too. You're telling me the regular Switch can't handle GameCube games? No, it's corporate fucking greed. Nah, fuck that. If we had corporate greed, they'd release the game and make me pay $60 for it, and I probably would. And I wouldn't complain, because at least I get to buy the fucking game. No, this is corporate stupidity. This is corporate retardation, my brother. And that's such an issue, dude. I just want these guys to take my money. I want these companies to do better. And I don't feel like you should like limit yourself and sit here and just fucking slow jerk off your favorite company just because you prefer the color of the white box compared to the black box. I mean, that's your prerogative, buddy. I get it. You want to defend your favorite company to the end of the earth, but come on, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Hold these guys more accountable. Complain about their shit. Talk more shit. I feel like I'm one of the only people out here that actually like goes and checks some of these old games and sees if they actually play well. Some of them do. I'm not going to say that every PlayStation 2 game on the PS5 is like taking a bunch of pills and laying in a bathtub with the fucking toaster, but I am saying that enough of them have problems that this should be something that is taken notice to. This is something that we should be calling out. And I feel like even games on the Xbox, even though their backwards compatibility games are at a much better state than PlayStation's, there's still some with problems, and the fact that they shut down that department is a huge slap in the face to video game preservation. And we should want video game preservation to be important, because that way our fucking favorite games make it to our children's generation and our children's generation, and they're not at like fucking potato AIDS quality. I don't feel like that's that much to ask. But that's been most of my rant. I didn't figure this was going to be the longest video. It was a little bit different than my normal everyday content that I've been making. I just felt like this is something that needed to be said and something that needed to be talked about. You got people out there saying that video game preservation doesn't matter that much, that only buy the new thing and keep buying the new thing because that's what's important. Don't play old games, they fucking suck. Whatever, dude. Be a little gay boy and just keep talking your nonsense. But I feel like it's important to history of the medium that we love to keep these games held up to a good standard. I know not everyone's gonna make it to every era, but lost media is such a big big thing and such a big component of the world, and it's weird that we have so much lost media in an age of the internet where we can archive everything. But that's my little rant. I will get off of my soapbox. You guys go beat it in the shower or something. I know you guys need a little to cool off after how mad you got during this video. I love you all. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.